The first thing Daniel noticed was how quiet the jungle had suddenly become. The cicadas stopped their shrill chorus. Leaves no longer rustled with the casual movements of lizards and birds. The heavy air pressed on his chest as though the trees themselves were holding their breath. He was miles away from the nearest settlement, hacking his way through the green chaos of Taru-Ka, a remote alien jungle that most humans on the colony avoided. He wasn't here for adventure. He was here for medicinal plants, specifically a rare flower whose nectar was worth a small fortune back on Earth. His employer didn't care about the danger. They only cared about results. Daniel was brushing a vine out of his face when he froze. Someone was watching him. A figure emerged from the shadows between the ferns, tall, graceful, and unlike anything he'd ever seen before. She moved like water flowing over rocks, stepping barefoot through the moss without making a sound. Her skin was a smooth, pale green that shimmered faintly in the dim light. Her hair, if it could be called that, was a cascade of fine, silvery tendrils, swaying gently as though touched by a breeze that didn't exist. She was completely unclothed. Daniel's brain tripped over itself trying to process the sight. Her eyes, huge and luminous, the color of molten amber, fixed on him without blinking. For a moment, neither of them spoke. He was too stunned to move, and she seemed to be measuring him in a way that made him feel both small and oddly transparent. "You are not from here," she said finally, her voice soft but carrying an unusual resonance. Her accent was strange, almost musical. "No," Daniel replied slowly. "I'm human, from the colony." Her head tilted. "Man," she repeated, tasting the word. There was no shame or self-consciousness in her nakedness, only a calm, unflinching presence. It was as if clothing had never existed in her world. Daniel forced his gaze upward, fixing on her face. "Do you live here? In the jungle?" She stepped closer, the smell of crushed leaves clinging to her. "I am Aylara. This is my home. The jungle is life. It gives me food, shelter, everything." Daniel noticed faint scars along her arms and legs, reminders of a life lived in a place where danger was constant. She didn't seem afraid of him, but she studied his clothing with mild curiosity, as though the fabric was a foreign artifact. He wasn't sure why he said it, but the word slipped out. "You don't have any clothes." Aylara's amber eyes blinked slowly. "Clothes." He gestured to himself. "These. Coverings. Protection. Warmth." Her expression softened into a faint smile, as though humoring a strange custom. "The jungle covers me. Why would I need this?" She reached out and touched the sleeve of his shirt. Her fingers were warm and surprisingly gentle. Strange. The first gift. They spent the afternoon together as Daniel gathered plants. Aylara followed him silently at first, but soon began pointing out edible fruits, warning him away from venomous flowers, and even showing him a hidden pool where the water was crystal clear. When the day began to fade and the golden light filtered through the canopy, Daniel realized he didn't want to leave her here, not when he could bring her to the colony. Something in her presence tugged at him, a mix of fascination and protectiveness. "Aylara," he said as they reached the edge of the jungle, "come with me, just for a little while. I want to show you something." Her brows lifted. "Where?" "To the market, to the shops. You can see the colony." He hesitated, then added, "And we can get you clothes." She laughed softly, the sound like chimes in a breeze. "Humans and their coverings. Very well. I will see your shops." The colony of New Cordell was a jarring contrast to the wild beauty of Taru-Ka. Steel walkways crisscrossed between prefab buildings, neon signs flickered over shop windows, and the air buzzed with the sound of haggling merchants and sputtering hover carts. Aylara stayed close to Daniel, her head turning constantly to take in the sights. People stared, some openly, some with furtive glances, at the tall, exotic woman with no clothes and silver hair that caught every light. Daniel caught snippets of whispers. Is she an alien native? Beautiful, but dangerous. Maybe. He led her into a clothing shop, and the moment they stepped inside, the scent of synthetic fabrics and the hum of climate control hit them. Aylara's expression turned wary. These walls are strange. They keep the world out. They keep the weather out, Daniel said. Now, let's find something for you. Trying on humanity, the shopkeeper, a wiry woman named Petra, raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Daniel explained. She's new here, needs clothes. Petra's eyes twinkled with curiosity, and soon she was bringing out garments of every style. Aylara approached the first offering, a simple cotton dress, as though it might bite her. She touched the fabric, running her fingers over the weave. Soft, she murmured, but heavy. The first few attempts were awkward. Aylara didn't understand sleeves, or why humans separated garments into tops and bottoms. She frowned at shoes like they were tiny prisons for her feet. Daniel couldn't help but laugh when she got tangled trying to put on a jacket backwards. But then she tried a flowing white dress, light as mist, with thin straps that barely touched the shoulders. She moved in it, testing the way the fabric swirled around her legs, and for the first time, she looked almost human. Her amber eyes met Daniel's. This one, she said simply. Petra added a thin belt and a lightweight shawl, and Daniel paid without argument. When Aylara stepped out of the shop into the neon-lit street, people still stayed, but now they saw something more mysterious and alien. She was a vision from another world, wrapped in a touch of human civilization. The world beyond the trees. They spent the next hours wandering through the market. Daniel bought her sweet fruit ice that made her laugh when the cold touched her tongue. She marveled at glass trinkets, tasted spice bread, and stopped to watch a street musician playing an instrument unlike anything in her jungle. Yet for every moment of wonder, there were also shadows. Not everyone looked at Aylara with curiosity. Some looked with calculation, greed, or fear. Daniel saw a pair of men in dark jackets watching them from a distance, their eyes lingering too long. You feel it too, Aylara murmured as they passed another crowded stall. He nodded. Yeah, some people don't see you as a person. They see you as something they can take. Her gaze turned distant. The jungle teaches this lesson, but the jungle also teaches how to defend what is yours. The choice. As night settled, Daniel walked her back toward the edge of the colony. You don't have to stay here, he said. If you want, I can help you find a place. A safe place. Aylara stopped. The market noise faded behind them. Daniel, this world of yours is strange. Too many wolves. Too much metal. I feel the air cannot breathe here. She touched the shawl around her shoulders. But you have shown me kindness. And this, she gestured to her dress, is a gift I will keep. He felt a pang in his chest. So, you're going back to the jungle.